Hello guys, let's solve this problem right here. So we're given that we have two concentric circles like this, and the radius of the inner circle is r and the radius of the outer circle is capital R. And here dr by dt and dr by dt is greater than 0, meaning that both of these radius is growing at a certain rate. And here there is given that the rate of growth of the inner circle is greater than the rate of growth of the outer circle. So meaning at one point the radius of the inner circle will eventually overlap the radius of the outer circle, and there will be a certain point where these two radiuses will be the same, and we have to find the time and we have to find the radius. So this is really a kind of a rate measure question, but included with physics. Here the time taken is simply dr by dv. So basically distance over velocity or distance over speed. And here dr by dv is just change in distance by change in velocity, or the difference in their radius or distance by difference in velocity. Now here, let's say initially the radiuses are r and r. That means the time taken will be here capital R minus small r, and the change in velocity. Since dr by dt is greater, we have to put it first, dr by dt minus dr by dt, so that we get both of them are positive, because time is obviously scalar and obviously positive. And here, this is the general formula. And from here you can calculate the time at which the radius of both of them will be the same. And in order to find that radius, all you have to do is take, let's say, any one of these radiuses. I'm going to choose r, and add them with time multiplied by their specific or their corresponding rate. And this is also equals to r plus the time taken into the corresponding rate, which is dr by dt. So let's look at this with an example over here. So we have the smaller radius being 30 meters, the bigger radius being 100 meters, and dr by dt 15 meter per second, dr by dt 10 meter per second. Now let's look at it logically. Here the smaller radius is growing 15 meter per second. That means in 1 second it will grow 15 meters. Now dr by dt, this will only grow by 10 meter per second. So in 1 second it covers 10 meters. So that means in 1 second this covers 15 meters, this covers only 10 meters. That means here there is a difference of 5 meters, and the distance between them is closing by 5 meters per second. And here that is what we'll find first. So we'll first find dv, which is here just 5 meter per second, this minus that. And in fact this should be negative, because here the distance between them is decreasing. But earlier we did it so that we had this minus that, making it positive. But in fact I had kind of just generalized it and skipped a step, because here in fact dr also here is 30 minus 100, which is minus 70. And here time is just dr by dv, making it negative by negative, which is overall just positive. And here you don't have to really do that, you don't have to take the negatives. You can just take this minus that and this minus that to make it positive, and it will just be the same. But here this is more of a logical approach, because here obviously for in every second the distance is closing by 5 meters, and the difference in the distance between them from the inner to outer circle is negative 70. So the time taken is just dr by dv. So we know this is just negative 70 by negative 5, and this is just 14 meter per second. Oh sorry, this is time, so it's just 14 seconds. So that means after 14 seconds from the initial radius, the radius of them will be the same. And let's see what that radius will be. So I'm just going to choose R. So R plus the time taken into dr by dt. So this is just 30 plus 14 into dr by dt, which is 15, and this is equal to 240 meter. And if you want to see this, if this is actually true, you can take the other radius r, add it with time into dr by dt, and this is 100 plus 14 into 10. Now here this is 100 plus 140, which is also 240 meters. So as you can see, these two are the same, meaning that this is true. Now here, the time doesn't in fact have to be an integer, whole number. It only has to be positive. And that means it can also be a rational number or even an irrational number, but not really. There should be a kind of a fixed time. And I mean that can happen if you have, let's say, 3 pi by 3, so that you have time as pi, which makes sense. So yep, this is it. And if you guys learned something new, please like and subscribe. Thank you.